What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I am your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quick with me as always. It's Tuesday morning, so we're here. NFL, man. Last week we talked about where Watson would go. He's now in Cleveland. We're going to talk about that deal, 230 M's, all guaranteed, 5-year deal. Matt Ryan's on his way to Indianapolis. Another rental for the Colts. We'll talk about Matt Ryan overall and that deal. Baker Mayfield. He's an outlier right now. Where's he going to go? He's running out of spots. Seattle is an option, I guess. You would think on the surface level that's an option. And came out yesterday that he had requested for a trade before they signed Watson. Interesting dynamic there. We're going to talk about that. Then we'll move over to the NBA. Well, we're going to talk a little NCAA and NBA because obviously me and Nick watched the NCAA tournament, right? We watched it last night or the past weekend. But we have our typical thoughts. It's pretty much the same, different, but the same. So we'll talk about that. And then I'm gonna give Nick a couple of things. We're gonna play 3 loves, 1 hate. I'm gonna give him some NBA guys. He's gonna tell me 3 things he loves about their game, that person, 1 thing they hate, and then we'll be off and running. Big Nick the Quick. Oh, let me run the intro real quick. Hold on. Then we can re-up.
Man, look at my really. Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Big Nick the Quick, what's good?
What's going on? How we feeling?
What's the word? I'm good. How are you, bro?
Man, lovely.
Yeah?
Lovely. It was 70 degrees outside yesterday, man, moving around.
It was
great,
nice yesterday.
It's almost about that time. I'm feeling great.
It was nice yesterday.
Great,
it was
man.
really nice.
It was really nice. At one point I went outside and I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was really
all right.
Nice.
It was like one of those days you just had to do something. Like I took the dog on like a 45-minute walk just for the sake of it. Get outside, see the people. Everybody's walking around the neighborhood. Everybody's got a good vibe. You know, like that one random day where it's super warm, like everybody's feeling good.
Everybody was out.
Everybody's at the park. You know what I mean? Everybody's walking around. Everybody's going to get something to eat. Kids are playing. Yeah, man. So I had to go get into the action. It was great.
Yeah, man. It was cool. I walked to the gym. Me and Alyssa out on the stroll. Yeah, man. People were out and about. Small Cheval was rocking. I live in Bucktown. If anybody else lives up north, holla at me. I'm around. I'm in the neighborhood. But yeah, it was dope. I was recovering yesterday, man. I was in Atlanta for a bachelor party this past weekend. Shout out my guy John Johnson. Congratulations. He's getting married here in a couple months in DC. So I was in Atlanta for a bachelor party. I really fucked with Atlanta, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I really liked it. That was my first time there. It was extremely spread out.
Yep.
Which is, listen, I don't even, there's like 4 real cities in the whole country. Like, I don't even know if these are called cities. Like, are these real cities?
Towns.
If I can't walk anywhere, is it a real city?
It's a town.
It's a town, right?
It's a town.
Like, Chicago, I can walk and get whatever I need. New York, obviously. I guess it depends what part of the city that you're
they're really all, if you're talking like cities, they're all on the eastern side, right? Far west, probably.
Right.
It's Chicago, New York. You can walk around in Philly. You can walk around in Boston.
Boston.
DC.
Yeah.
You can walk around all those spots. But like fucking LA. LA is a great place. I said this on the group chat the other day. LA is a great place. I've been plenty of times. How much time have you actually spent in LA proper? Like, I'm in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Because you'll be over here. I'm in Laguna del something or Marina del this. You know what I mean? Or I'm over in Santa Monica or something like that. But like, you're never really in LA. Like, I was just walking down LA. You know what I mean? Man. They're all kind of spread out.
That's like a
lot of them are whack.
Especially if you've been to Europe. Like, those are real cities. You go to Amsterdam, like, a car is an afterthought. Like, I'm cruising around on foot, on a bike. Like, getting a car is like out of the question.
Yeah.
London's vast, but you could walk around and get. Yeah, I don't know, man. I had an epiphany when I was in Atlanta. Like, I don't even know if these are cities, man. Call them something else. These aren't cities. Can't get nowhere. But that said, I rocked with Atlanta. The culture is really tough. It was funny, man. We bounced from like white Atlanta to black Atlanta, and they are very different places. Like even more drastic than like spots up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
These were completely, vastly different places.
Completely different spots.
Yeah, like completely different places. So I fucked with Atlanta though. It was cool, man. The people were really dope. All the food I ate was fire. Every spot we went to was very relaxed. People were blowing back, chilling, like loud music. Everyone was on the vibe. And so I liked Atlanta. I had a good ass time. We had a lot of fun. So shout out my guy John. All right. Let's get into it, man. We talked about it last week. Where Deshaun Watson gonna go? Who would take him? Why would you take him? Is it too much of a risk to take him? Are you ready to deal with the blowback from every part of your organization, from the parking attendant to the president to the roster,
your wife,
to your wife at your house, to your daughter's teacher?
Shorty at the coffee shop.
Are you ready for the blowback that comes along with signing Deshaun Watson? A lot of people were not. The Cleveland Browns were ready. They signed him immediately to a 5-year, $230 million guaranteed, guaranteed contract.
So how does that? I've never heard of fully $230 million fully guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. It you're just gonna have that cap number every year. It might. I don't know I haven't looked at. I looked at the details of the deal, but I didn't see like the year per. I'll actually pull it up. But per year breakout will be a certain number that adds up to the sum of $230 million over 5. That's it. That's America. All. Word on the street was he was going to go to Atlanta, and I was actually talking to some people down there about it. They were hot. They ain't get him. I talked to 5 people. I'm gonna tell you this. I talked to 5 Atlanta Falcons fans about Deshaun Watson. All 5 were not worried about outstanding allegations. It was like, man, let's win football games. They were giving it. They were giving it to me real. I'm like, yeah. So like, what's up? Like, that wouldn't have bothered you, you know? What the 22 outstanding allegations that he has against him, and they kind of were like, yeah, it's unfortunate, but they essentially, and we've had this conversation before too, Nick. They essentially are separating the sport from the man. Like, yeah, dude's a scumbag, but he's on my team, and I want my team to win. It's like some people can separate R. Kelly from his music. It's the same thing, right? So that's that was the vibe I was getting in Atlanta. But he doesn't go there. And last minute, they said, it sounds like he essentially picked Cleveland because they gave him some more money, fully guaranteed it. So it was done deal, signed, sealed, delivered. What'd you think of the deal? What do you think of the spot? And then we could get into the NFC or the AFC shakeup on it.
So should I do what ESPN and all they were doing yesterday? I don't know if you were watching any of the morning shows, but if I had $1 for every time any ESPN analyst said, well, strictly from a football standpoint, everything they said, strictly from a football, like they're all just trying to skate away from.
They're just trying to cover up.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something nice about Deshaun, but I want to let you know it's strictly from a football standpoint. So strictly from a football standpoint, I like the move, obviously, right? Cleveland, we talked about this team for a couple of years. It seems like they were in the playoffs 2 years ago, been in the playoffs 2 out of the last 4 years, I want to say. Team seemed like they were on the cusp of getting over that hump, but it seems like the thing that's been holding them back is Baker. Baker's play can be described best as erratic. You know, I think that there is some moments with Baker that you watch and he inspires the team and he makes some plays and he can do some things. But overall, throughout the course of 4 quarters, throughout the course of 17 games, he's just not that guy. He's not getting it done. There's some serious limitations there. He doesn't take care of the football, not particularly accurate. And it's cost that team in some big spots. So, number one, I'm not surprised that they were out looking for a quarterback this year. Add that to the fact that Baker's on that 5th-year option, so you would have to pay him next year, right? So you really need to do your due diligence before you hand Baker Mayfield a contract in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 million for an NFL starter right now. I mean, that's kind of where we're getting, right? You remember when the NBA, everybody just started getting max deals because they're up? So, hey, you get a max, you get a max. Like, hey, Solomon Hill, you get a max deal. Like, everybody was getting max deals because everybody was up. That's kind of the reality of the quarterback right now. You're not getting Baker on some cheap deals, so you have to do your due diligence, look and see what's else out there. Now you hear that Deshaun wants to come to town or is potentially looking at you guys. So, of course, you take that meeting, right? And you know what's going to happen when you take that meeting. You know the type of guy that Baker is. You know it's going to get back to Baker. He's going to be upset. That's something you'll have to deal with. But you can't live through life saying, man, we could have had a chance to land in, from a football perspective, had the chance to land in Deshaun Watson and bring him in the building and significantly upgrade our roster. So with that being said, him on that team, again, from a football perspective, I sound like these guys, it's a massive lift. A massive lift on the talent in the football field. A massive lift on what you're able to do. I told you, Deshaun Watson has thrown two of the greatest passes I've ever seen in my life. I've been talking about him for years. In a loss.
I already know which one is. That ball in New Orleans was insane.
There's two balls. It was two in New Orleans. Remember, they came back. The Saints came back and won. But yeah, the balls were insane. It was insane.
Yeah.
And I'll always stick back to those throws when we talk about this guy because you consider the pressure of the situation. But just overall, as a player, yeah, you're getting a much better football player. As far as what the Texans did, hey, look, man. Yeah,
hold on, let me ask you this before you move off of Deshaun. What are his press conferences going to look like all year? Are they just gonna hammer this dude all day, all night? Is he gonna say, I'm only taking football questions? I'm just trying to figure out, does this ever fade? And really quick, I got the details on the deal. It's super clean. $46 million over 5. He gets $46 million every year. Year 1, he got a $44.965 million signing bonus. So then his base salary for this year is just over $1 million bucks. But that totals $46 million. 2023 base salary of $46 million, fully guaranteed. 2024 $46 million, fully guaranteed. 25 and 2026, both $46 million, fully guaranteed. So it's a clean ass deal. No fluff, no none of that.
Yeah.
So when does it fade? Or does it fade? Or does he just have to wear it? Does he? I don't really know what I'm getting at, but I'm just trying to see, like, does this shit fade when he throws 50 touchdowns and they're in the AFC Championship game?
It doesn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It doesn't fade this year, that I can tell you, right? As far as him answering the questions or being asked the questions at the press conference. For a while, he'll be able to hide behind the fact that there's a civil lawsuit and he can't really speak on it, right? Hey,
yeah, that he's going to live there.
Lawyer said I can't talk about it. Lawyer said I can't talk about it. Lawyer said I can't talk about it. Football questions only, right?
Yeah.
The worst thing he could do is get up there and start talking about it. Nothing good.
Yeah.
Unless you are a PR person or someone who is used to releasing statements on subjects of this matter, nothing good comes from you talking about this. Nothing good. You might look like stubborn because you don't talk about it, but at least you don't look like a fool because you said something stupid or incriminated yourself or became defensive, which you really don't want to start doing. You start picking these fights with some reporter who's asking you about some malconduct on your part, and you want to get an attitude with them. That's how you turn everybody against you, man. Just go in there. Flash that $1 million smile. Hey, can't talk about this.
You know what I think too is he can't make light of it either. Like, no jokes. I can't have you playing R. Kelly, Jigga Kelly, not guilty in the locker room. Like shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Just completely fade it and wear it as much as you can and just say, hey, I'm working through, the civil allegations, whatever. The last thing I'll say about it, and then we'll move over to Atlanta and Matt Ryan, is I wonder how many players in the locker room are like, man, fuck this dude. I don't give a fuck about the football games or my wife or whatever, that just don't really like him. I think that locker room dynamic is something that is going to come into play at some point.
Yeah, I mean,
like there's going to be issues at some point where it's like, it's a really interesting thing because Watson is now so locked in that he could probably move some dudes out of there he's not rocking with. It's like, hey, man, I know we don't see eye to eye, but yeah, you go ahead and get this guy up out of here. Like it's he essentially has the keys to the franchise, and there's a big reason why a lot of people may not like him.
Yeah, and that's true. And the people that aren't going to like you aren't going to like you, but there will be some people on the fence, and that's when it's on Deshaun to get those people who are on the fence onto his side. And that's all about how he conducts himself and carries himself as a man and a football player in that locker room and in that community. I know that sounds very cliche, but it's the truth, right?
Yeah.
Like how he conducts himself as a football player, as a man. As a football player, you go out there and you win games. Winning cures 99.8% of things, right? But if you're
Yes,
also out there in that community, conducting yourself as a man with principles and just involved and doing all the right things and not being an idiot, then you're good. But you have a much shorter rope, if any, if you even have rope, than anybody else in the league right now. So you cannot make a mistake. You cannot do something stupid. Like I said, you can't become defiant and defensive, right? Because the questions are going to come, and guess what? They have a right to ask them. This is a situation that, and I know we're talking about allegations, but I think you and I talked about it last week. 22 is a lot, man. I think for me, we're past allegations. Something happened. So you need to answer for that, man. Like, you need to answer for that. And I don't feel bad for him for having to do it. You're still going to get a chance to play in the National Football League, and you're going to get to do it for $45 million a year, including extra $30 million on top of what you were already scheduled to make. You're going to do it in a city that's starving for a franchise quarterback. You're going to a team that has some talent already in place.
Yep.
Right? And you're going into a division that's kind of in flux too. So look, man, go in there, shut up and ball. That's all I got to say. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have any problem with what they gave up for him?
No.
Three ones and was it 3
Zero.
1s and a 2?
Absolutely not.
Now, if you're Houston, you're happy with that haul, I'm assuming.
Sure.
3 1s.
Yeah, I mean, you need a
for
lot of pieces.
For a rebuilding team, yeah.
You need a lot of pieces down there. I would have tried to get 3 1s and Baker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wanted no part of that.
I don't know why Baker's not a part of that deal.
Teams might not want him.
But you're the Texans. You're not in a position to not take Baker. Like, what are we talking about? So that's what I'd be, especially because you could get him on a 1 year, take a look at him, and then move, and then like let him go. Like,
what if teams have already been like, yo, we don't really need to take a look at Baker because we've been looking at Baker for 4 years.
But what I'm saying is, then the Texans better run out something better than Baker. Like I mean, I don't obviously listen. This is two guys who are massive football sports fans that are super plugged in talking about it. But I don't try to get Baker and the 3 1s. Like, this is the thing too. It's going to be a huge W for the Browns if they move Baker for a 1.
It's not a chance.
You don't think so?
Not a chance, dude. Not a chance. Who the fuck? If you're willing to give a 1 for Baker, then I would. If you were a team and you moved a 1 for Baker, I would literally look at you and be like, why wouldn't you have just taken the 3 for Matt Ryan?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that. And like, we'll get on the 3 for Matt Ryan trade. I know we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
I know we all have our thoughts on Matt Ryan, but if that, you got to read the market, and the market's not telling me 1 for Baker if a 3 is for Matt Ryan, and Matt Ryan is better.
But we've seen over the years guys get 1s for guys that aren't worth 1s.
Yeah, Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
Yes,
Did they give him a 1 for Darnold? Was a 2?
I don't remember. But
if Sam Darnold isn't bagging groceries by the end of the week, my whole life is a lie.
Hey, one last thing on Watson. This is Deshaun Watson won this whole ordeal in every single spot, every single way, outside of losing a year of his, a year of playing, or maybe he'll just tack it on at the end, but he didn't play last year. That's the only L I can see. Him signing the deal as $44 million and then like $1 million and change as a signing bonus is that if he gets suspended, he's only going to lose the money on that $1 million.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So whatever the game checks break down for the $1 million, that's what he would lose on a potential suspension.
Well, and let's be honest, man, picking up an extra, there's a reason that, they said once he heard about the extra $30 million from Cleveland, he's like, oh yeah, I got to go. If you're facing 22 civil lawsuits and lawyer fees, you could use that extra $30 million.
Extra $30 million might come in handy.
If it's the same amount of money he was going to get, they essentially just paid for his lawsuit.
For sure. All right, that's a sticky situation. We'll see where it nets, man. I'm interested to see how it looks when he starts balling. People forget about a lot of shit. You start balling.
You're gonna have to wait a couple months.
Ray Lewis was on TV. They beat a murder charge.
6 games for Deshaun.
You feel me? So that just came through, or are you saying that's what he's going to get?
That's what everybody's saying. He's going to get minimum 6 games. That's what Roethlisberger got.
Okay. All right, let's move to our guy Matt Ryan. I was in Atlanta. I drove by Mercedes-Benz. By the way, I went into Mercedes-Benz for an Atlanta United game, MLS, and the building is sick. I'm going to tell you that off top. The building is very nice. The first thing I thought when I drove by is Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer. That's the first thing that came to my mind. I looked at the building. I was like, this is the building Julio built. I'm like, hold on. This is because I was thinking like, I was just like, maybe is this the building Matt Ryan built? And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I can't do it. I can't utter I can't utter that sentence out of my mouth. I can't do it. So Matt Ryan, he goes to Indy for a 3. And Atlanta eats the entire dead cap of $40 million. Maybe even more. It's like 40 and change, right? What are your thoughts on the deal? How do you feel if you're a Colts fan and this is the 3rd year in a row that you're essentially on a rental?
Well, I would say this is probably the rental that I'd feel the most comfortable with, considering the last 2.
Because if people forget, it was Phillip Rivers, then it's now Carson Wentz, and then now it's Matt Ryan on another 1 year probably. Right?
Phillip Rivers was actually done. Like he was done. He was done that last year in San Diego, and the only reason he went to Indy is they gave him like $25 million guaranteed to show up for another year. And like we talk about, Phillip Rivers has 8, 9, 10 kids. I understand he's made a lot of money in his life, but extra $25 million for 10 kids, you're going to take that. So he was completely done when they got him. Then you come to Carson Wentz, who age-wise isn't done, but ability-wise is done, right? Been done. Trash. Obviously not a leader. Can't beat the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Throws a ton of picks and just not that guy. So they move on from him. And then, which they got some picks for, right? They got some picks in that Wentz deal, and they end up getting a 3rd. And then they took that 3rd and brought in Matt Ryan. And I'll say this.
Oh, wait. Did Mariota go to Atlanta?
Did he? I don't know. Is a backup?
My fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm gonna look it up.
No, you're good. So they bring in Matt, and now they get the 3rd rounder, and they flipped that yesterday for Matt Ryan. And I've been saying here since last year when the Stafford trade happened that I'm not sure why Atlanta wouldn't just do the same thing with Ryan. Right? The team is going nowhere. He still has some value, right? He's probably the most valuable player you have on your squad at that point because he is a quarterback and he's a starting quarterback and he's someone who can play right away in an NFL team and probably be better than, I don't know, he's in that 17, 18, 19 QB range, right? So I was thinking, why, if I was Denver, who had all these quarterback issues last year, like why weren't they on the phone with Atlanta? Why weren't some of these other teams on the phone with Atlanta? So to see him go for a 3, look, man, say what you want to about Matt Ryan. We've been critical of him. We've seen him fold in big moments. We generally don't even like the look of his game. We don't like the look of him. But if we're really comparing, let's fast forward 12 months ago before the Stafford love affair was in full force and compare those 2 guys and tell me who was the more accomplished quarterback at that time. It was Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had been to multiple Pro Bowls. He had won an MVP. He had taken his team to the Super Bowl. He had damn sure won a bunch more ball games, right? And numbers-wise, had better numbers. Now, I get people with Stafford, they felt that he was just in an awful situation and that if you got him out of that situation, he would flourish, which he did. But let's not sit up here and act like Matt Ryan is a bum, right? Like, we don't like him. We don't think he's great, whatever. But he's not a bum when you start talking about, hey, I'm going to bring this guy into the building. He's a good quarterback. And if you have a shit quarterback, Matt Ryan is an absolute upgrade. So you start talking about the Colts who had no quarterback or shit quarterbacks, he would have been an upgrade. He would have been an upgrade over Bridgewater in Denver. He would have been an upgrade over whoever the fuck the Redskins were trying out at quarterback last year. So I just think that, I thought that after the Stafford thing and teams saw what bringing a veteran quarterback in can do for you if you have an already made roster, I thought he'd go for a 1 or a 2. So
Yeah.
to get him for a 3, if you're Indy, that's an incredible trade.
I think it's a really good trade as well. And especially how leveraged out Indy was. Indy was running out of quarterbacks because they're in a spot where they have a good team. That roster is solid. They're ready to win. It seems like the whole thing was for them is Carson Wentz is holding us back. We got to get up from out of this dude.
Right.
Because we need a quarterback. Now, for you to be essentially running out of QBs, if you don't get Matt Ryan, who is it? It's Baker. I guess Jameis is still around, who's getting disrespected, by the way.
No, he is getting disrespected.
I could have a whole podcast talking about Jameis Winston getting disrespected the way he is. I know he's coming off of ACL. I still don't care. Jameis Winston is a good quarterback. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He got his eyes fixed.
Yeah.
Boy's back.
He out here showing you his workout videos, man. He's out here doing it. He's out here doing his thing.
Real talk. I think that stuff is working against him. People don't take him seriously.
Yeah. And I don't think he realizes that it's a joke when he posts that.
I think
he's unintentionally funny.
Yeah, people don't take Jameis seriously for a lot of different reasons, but I think he's going to have a good year. I think he was having a good year before he got hurt. Go back and look at the numbers.
Listen, man. Listen, I understand he threw 32 picks. And I hate you can't make that into a but with those 32 picks, he also threw 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. So that's why when they were giving shots to people like Darnold and all that, saying like, oh, he could. It's like, I've seen good Jameis Winston film.
Yeah.
I have not seen good Sam Darnold film. I've seen 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns from Jameis Winston. You just got to cut down those picks.
He couldn't see.
Yeah.
He couldn't see, Nick.
He saw 30 touchdowns.
He was out there. By the way, his whole career, he hasn't been able to see. If you go back to Florida State, he's been squinting like this for 10 years.
Yeah.
So he got some LASIK. He got his eyes fixed. Man, I think James is getting disrespected. But as we mentioned, Marcus Mariota to Atlanta, 2-year deal last night.
Another bum.
He can't touch Jameis Winston.
Mariota is built to be a backup in the NFL. That's what he's going to do. He's great, excellent at clipboard. If you put him in the game, it's yikes.
Excellent college guy.
Yeah, great college guy, man. Shout out Mariota.
But I'm going to say this. That all goes into exactly what we're saying about Matt Ryan. Indy was running out of real guys to get. If they don't get Matt Ryan, it's legit Baker Mayfield, Marcus Mariota, Jameis, who would have been a win. But he seems like this. I haven't heard any noise about James, but it doesn't seem like he's leaving New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But they were running out of guys. So to get a 3 and not have to give up even a 2, like call it in the middle. Say we'll give up a 2. Like, man, they got him for a 3, and he could be there for a couple of years. So,
and you look at it,
big win for Indy.
Durability wise, Matt Ryan has only missed 3 games in his career. So you're getting him for 17 games next week. You're getting a guy who understands. He completed 67% of his passes last year. And I'm not, dude. Again, this isn't me like stumping for Matt Ryan, but I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit and be like, yo, this is a significant upgrade for them, especially when you consider what they gave up and what other folks have had to get up to get quarterbacks in. Like, again, look at the Stafford trade last year where they had to give up 1s and 2s and all these different things to bring in basically the same guy, whereas the Colts just played this right, flipped Wentz back for a bunch of picks, used one of those picks to bring in Matt Ryan, and you're good to go. So, yeah, I love that deal, man. I really, truthfully love that deal. That was smart movement, and that's how you get yourself a quarterback without having to break the bank. 3rd-round pick for Matt Ryan. And to me, on Atlanta's side, if you mean to tell me you're only getting a 3 and you have to pay $25 million in dead cap money, $40 million in dead,
the biggest dead cap number of all time, and they do that. It's crazy. They have a almost $41 million dead cap hit, and it clears $9 million in cap. So it helps, but there's still a lot of dead money on the cap.
Exactly. At that point, I'm just keeping Ryan or seeing if I can hold out for a stronger offer, because you just named all these teams that need quarterbacks. Yeah. You think once we get closer to the season starting and you're in New Orleans, you're in Seattle, you're in some of these places that do not have a signal caller on the roster. Yeah. Matt Ryan becomes very, very attractive. Hey, we got a former MVP here who's still got a couple years left in him and who's going to fucking be a model citizen in your franchise.
You've even seen a season start and someone get hurt and people get like a one back for like in week 2 of the NFL
for backups and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Desperate moves. Desperate moves.
It is. It's an interesting spot. I think Indy won that because I think he'll be good. He'll be solid.
I think he'll be solid too.
I'm not a huge Matt Ryan fan. I'm very much in the camp of, I don't know, man. I think my Hall of Fame credentials are just higher than everybody else's because everyone else says he's a lock shoe in for the Hall of Fame. I just don't see it that way. But
great career.
MVP,
wonderful career. MVPs, playoff wins,
tons of money,
lots of
playoff wins,
tons of money.
Tons of money.
What do you think Matt Ryan's career earnings are?
They got to be right under 200, like 180.
Let's see,
something like that.
I'm gonna go
because he got a huge deal like 4 years ago, and that deal's nothing now.
He been getting paid. Let's see, Matt Ryan's career earnings
185.
No, by the time this contract's over, it'd be 318 million.
What? 318? Oh man, yeah.
I got one for you though. You want to know? All right. By the time Kirk Cousins' contract is over, what do you think? What do you think? Old Kirk's got.
I put that out there. It's like 232.
I think it's like 231 or something.
Yeah, it's like 232 or something. I did the math on it.
What a country where Kirk Cousins can make 232. Yeah. $250 million playing football for being mediocre.
Dog, 7 wins a year.
And we talk about him. No, Kirk Cousins has let you know from day one. I'm about my paper.
About the paper.
That's why I'm here. I'm here about my money.
He's about the paper. Kirk Cousins is a money man.
Kirk Cousins is a money man.
Accountant first, quarterback second.
Quarterback second, dog. Give my ends, man. Some man adding up. I'm not coming to work. Dog, $230 million for Kirk Cousins, man. Salute, man. Salute. Let's maximize your talents. That's why Lamar needs to hold out. What the fuck are you doing? Kirk's over here with the $250 million.
Yes, exactly right. So stay tuned. But yeah, I think that's a win for Indy, and we'll see what. Hey man, change the scenery. Matt Ryan fuck around have a massive year, but it's another team in the AFC.
Get another contract.
The AFC is just out of control. They got the best players over there in the AFC. All right, really quick. Let's get.
Well, that's the South though, right? So who?
AFC South is soft.
AFC South was soft, but I mean now with the quarterback in Atlanta, you might put some pressure on Tennessee because Tannehill is not that guy.
Man, and he's in a position where he should be that guy. They got a crazy run game. The defense is solid. Good coach.
I actually thought if I was them, I would have went after Matt Ryan.
Oh, and really quick, let me give Big Nick some props. Big Nick has been saying for almost 2 years the Falcons need to trade Matt Ryan, and they probably could have traded Matt Ryan 2 years ago for two ones
for the Stafford deal.
Yeah.
It was out there.
Yeah, like he said that almost 2 full years ago. Like, hey, this team is going nowhere. You guys are moving off of Julio. You guys are getting a brand new regime is coming in, new coach. Go trade Stafford, start over, go get a couple ones, and then maybe right now, they'd be back on the mend.
It's quick. You get a couple impact players, yeah.
Look, because Drew Brees is all of a sudden gone. He's disappeared. The Panthers are in a rebuild. Cam's gone. They don't know really what they're doing. They have a new coach. They're signing Darnold. Like the Falcons could have that whole thing in a stranglehold if they would have started getting ready a couple years ago. I think that's what Belichick has done so well over the years. He's just moving off people like, this is dead.
He gets rid of people a year early rather than a year late.
Exactly right. And like last year, the Bears just burned a year of the franchise for no reason because they didn't want to pay another coach and Nagy, whatever. It's the same situation. Hey, and this year we need to move off Robert Quinn. He's coming off 20 sacks?
Yeah, it's never gonna happen again.
Trade him right now. Trade Robert Quinn right now and get a load back for him. Like, dude, he had 20 sacks, bro.
Yeah.
Go send him to Buffalo.
Hey man, how you gonna trade your minutes, bro?
Hey,
hey.
I'm trading my Puerto Rican brother because get out of town while you can, bro. What would he do here next year?
Gee, your goal this summer is to find where Robert Quinn kick it at.
Yo, he's definitely out in Humble Park.
You think he's in Humble Park?
Yeah, shout out Rob Quinn.
Rob Quinn, if
in
you
Humble
listening,
right
man,
now.
let us know where you at,
Getting
man.
breakfast,
Some
man.
of that
Shout out
Malkina
Rob
ice
Quinn.
cream and shit, man. Yeah. Rob Quinn.
But yeah, he needs like the Bears should move him right now. There's no reason to keep him. Zero.
Yeah.
Why would you keep him? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what I said about Khalil Mack.
Yep. Yeah. And we said that last
We said
year.
We said that last year. Look, man, I'm 100% in the belief. If your team's not competitive, don't hold on to aging guys. You know what I mean? Especially if they still
Especially
have
if they're good. Get rid of them ASAP.
Yes.
ASAP.
Like, the Ryan thing was spot on like 2 years ago. Yep. Why are we not moving on from this guy? You guys are going nowhere. You're not improving. You're not looking to improve. You know what I mean? Give Kyle Pitts a chance.
Shout out, yeah, man. Kyle Pitts needs a quarterback.
Kyle Pitts needs a quarterback. He needs to catch some balls. So I don't know, who does Atlanta go after then?
They got Mariota, 2-year deal. They signed and they're gonna give him a shot.
Oh, that's terrible. Yeah,
they gave. I didn't see the details on the money, but they gave Mariota. Well, that's the thing, bro. There's just nobody. Like, there's no quarterbacks out there. Like, what?
That's why the Steelers grabbed Money Mitch on day one.
Yeah, like let's just pick our guy and go with it. They're just running out of guys.
Yeah.
But to close out this segment, NFL quarterback talk. Let's talk about Baker. He's in a tough situation, man. He's now, you could tell he's back in the mindset of the walk-on kid that nobody wants.
Yep.
And I have to prove myself again. He's frustrated.
Welcome to the fucking NFL.
Welcome to the NFL. That's just what it is. Especially if you're coming off a bad year, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, you haven't lived up to expectations, bro. All these fucking open letters and letters before anything's even happened, and I've given it my all and all that. No one's saying that you don't work hard and that you don't try to put on for the team, but the result's not there, bro. Well, you got receivers trying to leave in the middle of the season with their dads writing letters. After that, Jarvis Landry's trying to get out. Your two top receivers don't want to be there. Like, look, bro, you're not performing, man. Team has a good D, falling backwards. You know what I mean? Like, what's the problem here? I don't understand. Again, that's how he's just kind of been his whole life. Like, yo, the more that I take all this doubt and internalize it, and able to kind of project that into how I work is how I am. But sometimes it also projects into how he talks. And he is really talking as if he has lifted this franchise out the abyss, and now they're, turning their back on him. It's like, look, bro, the team has the option to explore for a better option. They weren't trying to bring Marcus Mariota in. They weren't trying to bring fucking Ryan Fitzpatrick in. They were trying to bring Deshaun Watson in, and you are not him. And deal with it, bro.
Yeah.
And you want to come out here demanding trades and all that to where, man? Where are you trying to go? You are on the last year of the deal. Any team that trades for you understands that there is a big deal looming at the end of that. Shut the fuck up and let the chips fall where they may. I know it hurts. Baker, I know it hurts. But you just got to keep it moving, man. Like, that letter that he wrote was damn near 2 weeks ago at this point. Well, goodbye letter to a team that's still paying you. Like, this shit was crazy to me.
Yeah, you just gotta. Dak Prescott it.
Yeah, he's not first ballot Hall of Famer. You need to chill, man. Yeah. Like, you haven't played well, bro. If you don't play well guess what? You don't play well in the NFL, folks look to replace you, especially if you're expensive, especially if you're at a key position.
Let me ask you this: Where should he go? Like, where do you think he has any? Let me ask you this: Is Baker more his first and third year in the league, or his second and fourth year in the league? Where do you lean? Because there's been some flashes where it's like, this dude can play.
That first and third year, really that third year, the year that they went to the playoffs, and they kind of managed him throughout the year. That was last year, right?
Yeah.
Where it was just like, just kind of manage it, make plays when you need to, don't go anything crazy. That was probably where he is, and that's kind of where you're going to win with him. But he has limitations, man. He's fucking slow. He's got a good arm, not a cannon. And he's small. So he's just got some limitations that you got to deal with. But I think, he's a starter in the NFL, but he's not far from not being a starter in the NFL, right? At the same time, he's not far from being a productive starter in the NFL. Like, it could go one of two ways for Baker. You know what I'm saying? He's inconsistent is what he is. That's why it's got to be maddening to deal with him, and that's why it's hard to pay him. He's inconsistent, man. It's hard to pay inconsistency. It's hard to pay for something when you don't know what you're going to get. And I think that's the case with Baker. They have no idea what they're going to get, so it's hard for them to pay him. And then shit like this. I mean, look, man, you see how he is. Imagine how he is in the locker room. I'm sure he has his moments.
Yeah. No,
you know what I
no
mean?
doubt.
So yeah, I think he'll land somewhere. He'll be fine. Maybe New Orleans, but like you said, it sounds like if I'm the Saints, I'd rather just go with Jameis, who's been in the building for 2 years. But yeah,
this is the thing about quarterbacks, and if you're watching them play, if you're an elite quarterback, the situation that Baker was in, so I guess 2 years ago now when they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, was they had a good D and an insane run game. That team should be rolling.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like, oh, he had a solid year. Like with a defense and a run game, Baker should be putting up big time numbers and very comfortable and look very, very good. Deshaun Watson is doing stuff on a team with nothing.
Yeah.
That's the issue, I think. It's like, man, we gave this guy everything else. It was all set up for us to make a deep-ass run in the playoffs. And we were good, but not spooky. So, in their eyes, and how I'm looking at the Browns is they're a quarterback, a good-ass quarterback away from being spooky. They think the same thing. Baker's not spooky like Deshaun Watson, so you move off. That's it. That's all, like you said. It's tough. I get it. It hurts. I know. But you got to move off.
Got to move on. You'll still have a job next year, and you'll be in the NFL for the next 10 years.
That's it. So, we'll see if his mouth gets him in any more trouble. But
that's the problem, though. The problem also with him is like, if I'm a team, do I want to bring him as a backup?
We've been saying that about him versus like Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Daniel Jones don't say shit.
Daniel Jones don't say shit. And honestly, he should be on the hot seat and isn't.
You know what? You know who's a great example? Actually, Mitch Trubisky. It's okay. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'll go to Buffalo for a year. I'll sit down. I won't say shit. Everybody I say so little that everybody forgets about the stuff. They're like, wait, Mitch Trubisky's pretty good, isn't he?
Yeah. Yo, playoff appearance, Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Then free agency opens up. Let's sign Mitch to make him a starter in one of the charter franchises in the NFL. What a way to play. Who's his agent?
I was listening to when he was coming out. They're like, it was so perfect. They were flashing Mitch's like starter record as a starter, and they're like, yeah, and he has a Pro Bowl appearance, and he has a playoff win, and I'm like, no playoff win, but
no playoff win, yeah,
but his playoff appearance. I'm like, man, you guys were no.
You weren't there.
I'm like, you weren't there. You weren't outside, bro. I'm telling you, because if you look at it that way, but yeah, it's a perfect example of he didn't talk too much. Just kind of took his medicine, went to a really good team.
Left Chicago, sat behind the bench for a year.
Sat behind a really good quarterback,
and
one of the best quarterbacks, and a really good coaching staff. And now he's got another shot. So yeah, exactly. It's when you're barking, you better be backing it up.
And guess what? If he does well in Pittsburgh this year, that second year of that deal gets ripped up, and Mitch Trubisky's on a long-term contract as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. What a country! 3-4
years, at least.
What a country!
Exactly right. All right, let's USA. All right, let's move over to the NBA, man. Listen, let's talk hoops first, because same story, different year for me on the NCAA tournament. A lot of fun. Hoops is on all day. The games are staggered. I get it. But if we're being honest, and I thought about it a bunch, it's the NCAA tournament in the NBA every night. There was 9 games on last night in NBA. That's the NCAA tournament every day. And the basketball's better. What are we talking about?
Wait, did you add League Pass yet?
I added it at the All-Star break.
It's life-changing, isn't it?
It's a game changer. Dude, because I used to try to watch games. I was pulling up my iPad. I was pulling up all these bullshit streams. And I was just like, dude, this is so stupid.
Throw on that LP.
I'm legit betting hundreds of dollars on games and don't want to spend like the 80 to watch. It's so watch
them on your phone.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, I'm watching the games last night. I opened with the Lakers, Cleveland. I closed with Dallas and Minnesota.
Love it.
And I'm like, this is the NCAA tournament, but the NBA. And the talent's way better, and the hoops is way better. So I get it. I get the pageantry. It's very fun. I watched. I bet. I enjoyed myself, but I'm just not head over heels like some of these other folks, man. People love the NCAA tournament. It's cool. It's fun, but give me 9 NBA games, and I'll watch those instead of watching 9 NCAA tournament games.
Yeah, and I'll back that with look, man, everybody knows where we stand. And I think sometimes, and we're not trying to come off as the college basketball, it sucks, it's slow. Guys wear short shorts and fucking run the Princeton offense. Like, that's not what we're trying to say. And I will say that, look, I enjoyed my 4 straight days of watching college ball, right? Went over to Edder's crib on Friday, kicked it all day, watched a bunch of good games, watched some good games on Saturday, watched some great games on Sunday, ending with that Arizona TCU game. Shout out what was my man's name? Shout out my man's on TCU. Yeah.
Was it Lumpkin?
Yeah, Lumpkin. Get that guy in the building ASAP. And I definitely saw some games that were incredible. Like, I saw some games. It's really, you see some teams that play a certain type of style. Like, I'll say the St. Peter's squad. Like, that to me looks like NBA ball, right? Like, we're switching everything. Our guards are penetrating. We're just out here hooping. Then you watch some of these other games, and it's like 23-19 at the half. And the game just goes slow and slow and slow. And the thing that you realize, right, and this is when you start to realize how good NBA players are, it is very, 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 very difficult to consistently create your own shot in a competitive basketball game.
Yes.
Right? These college guys are hoopers. If any one of them came to a park and played us in basketball, they would fucking dominate us, right? So it's not like these dudes are whack.
Yeah.
But the level of skill that it takes to go outside of the offense, right, that's being ran when shit breaks down and just create your own shot.
Shot clock running out, ball at top of the key.
Yeah, it's just hard to do, and you watch it in these college games, and a lot of these dudes have no idea what to do. If they can't get in their first 2 sets, it's like a quarterback that can't get past his first 2 reads.
Yeah.
When it comes down to read number 3, like, oh, shit, I have no idea what to do, because now I actually have to think outside the box and use my talent. So you find that happening a lot. You find a lot of dumb shit as far as mental errors. And then when you compare it to NBA ball, like, it's just not even close, right? It's not even close. The level of skill that's in the NBA. We're not telling anybody anything you don't know, but you definitely miss certain things. You miss that one-on-one aspect. You miss that go and get a bucket. You miss the crazy performances. You had some college guys going for 25, 30, but you don't, you know what I mean? Like, you're not that, like a Kyrie 61-point performance, right? Like, there's nobody at that level that's doing shit like that. Whereas in the NBA, like they say, it's where amazing happens every night. So I know a lot of people like to shit on the NBA. Oh, folks don't play defense anymore, yada, yada. Look, man, tune on in. It is the best basketball on the planet. The season is rocking this year. I loved it. I love that you watched Minnesota last night, because I've been on the Minnesota train all year. You want to talk about an exciting team? It's track race every night with these guys.
Yeah. Pat Bev talking shit to Luka.
Pat Bev talking shit. Ant-Man going crazy, doing his thing, jacking up shots. So yeah, I get it, man. But like, at the same time, I enjoyed my 4 days. I saw some really, really, really great games. I understand why it means a lot to some people. If you had a school that was heavy into basketball and that was like your culture when you were there at school, for sure. Sean and I went to Arizona State. That was not the case. I think I went to 1 basketball game, and that was only because I wanted to see Harden. When he was there. Shout out James Harden on campus. 13. But other than that, I don't think I ever even went to a basketball game. So it just wasn't a part of the culture for us, man. And it wasn't a part of my culture growing up. And I think that's a big part of it too. Even though I used to go to the tournament every single year with my dad, like, we'd go to a different spot. We go to Tampa, we go to Arizona, we'd watch the first rounds, which is sick. We watch
it's fun.
eight basketball games a day. Like, it's wild. It was never ingrained in me, man. It's just like baseball for me. I know it's different for you, but like, baseball was never ingrained in me as a kid. Like I know your pops took you around baseball. Like, that was his thing.
Yeah.
My dad, NBA, the Bulls, and the Bears.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all we watched. Bulls, Bears. So like, for me, the NBA is like so deep ingrained in the fiber of my life. You know what I mean? That's what we would do. So, hey, I get it. That was a rant a little bit, but yeah.
It's all good. It's fun. And I'm gonna watch the rest of the tournament. Don't get it twisted.
I'm watching every game.
Cool. It'll be fun. But
and I'll bet
It's just like a different thing.
Sure.
And that's all. That's all I wanted to say. But let's talk about the games last night. Let me ask you this, man. Do you have a problem with I'm going to say I'm going to answer I don't. But do you have a problem with, because some people do, with how much fun LeBron's having for probably not going to be going anywhere if even the playoffs at all?
No, I have no problem with it. This isn't LeBron's fault. Why can't he enjoy himself? If he wants to yoke on Kevin Love, let him do it. They won. First off, they won yesterday.
They won last night,
yeah. If he wants to yoke on Kevin Love, let him do it. People wanted to be angry. Lakers fans, you know what I've realized, and I didn't realize it till this year. Lakers fan base is one of the most irrational fan bases on the planet.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, they're crazy.
You don't remember every time somebody would be a free agent, it's like, oh yeah, going to LA.
Yeah, they're just crazy. Like what is LeBron? What is your beef with LeBron? He's averaging 28, 8, and 8, and he's fucking 37, and he's playing 36 minutes a night. I mean, it's not his fault this thing is going sideways. So no, I think he should be able to enjoy himself. He should be able to enjoy himself as a win. He should be able to enjoy himself for moving into second all time in the scoring list. I don't think this issue is on LeBron. I think it's just this Lakers craziness right now. And keep that energy for Ant Davis if and when he ever comes back to playing basketball. Keep that shit for Russ, who fucking has completely forgotten how to play basketball. It ain't LeBron. You give LeBron some competent teammates, you're right back in this thing. The thing that is LeBron's fault is some of the moves that he made and some of the guys that he wanted to bring in. That I'll allow you to blame LeBron for. But as far as from a basketball standpoint, you can't talk about anything about LeBron James. I'm done. I'm done with LeBron basketball arguments.
Yeah, they're stupid.
They're stupid.
They're dumb.
You don't watch basketball if you have LeBron basketball arguments. You haven't been watching basketball for the past 20 years, and that's okay. You were doing something else. I'm here to tell you I have been, and there's no LeBron James basketball argument. So let them have fun, man. Where are we at now? We're talking about can LeBron James have fun playing basketball? We're supposed to be out there scowling. Supposed to be like Miami LeBron versus the Pacers. Remember when he came out pissed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that what he's supposed to do? Like, come on, man. These people are ridiculous. LeBron already brought y'all a ring too.
By the way,
folks really like to act like his whole LA shit's a failure. He's been there for fucking 4 years, and you got a ring out of it.
And we got a couple. We got an HBO show.
Hey, and y'all wasn't headed towards any rings anytime soon. Newsflash, LA Lakers. You might be mad about him trading Zoe and Ingram and D'Angelo Russell and Jordan Clarkson's and hot potato. Julius Randle. Them boys wasn't winning any NBA championships. LeBron came to town, won an NBA championship. Be happy with that. I don't want to hear it. Like, I'm done with the LeBron slander, man. Let that man live. I
agree. 100%. I just wanted to bring that up because I've read a couple things. I've seen it.
Who's saying what? I haven't even seen anything.
It's just like he's just like this guy's super happy for a dude that's going to miss the playoffs, basically, is what it is. Like, that's all. So we could leave that there because, yeah, it's nonsense.
Nonsensical.
Bullies looked all right.
W.
A little 113.99 win. I only caught the second half. It was so nice out in Chicago. I was walking back from the gym.
Yeah.
I caught the second half of the game, but DeRozan, an efficient ass 26, 11 of 14 from the floor. Only person that had even a half bad game, and it was a solid game on was Vooch, 7 of 17. But Pat Williams back. I don't know where we'd be without Ayo Dosunmu, man.
Yep.
I honestly don't know. Like, we'd have a lot less wins. Bulls are 42 and 29 right now. They might have like 4, 5 less wins without Ayo Dosunmu.
Absolutely.
So our Caruso's now back in the fold. Only person we're missing now is Zoe,
who suffered a setback.
Yeah, they said they got to pull back on the rehab.
So for 10 days he can't run.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. So I think you don't see Zoe in the regular season. I don't know if you see Zoe. Anytime you hear a setback this late, there's only 15 games left.
Yeah.
And he can't run for 10 days. So that means he's definitely at least 10 days out. Yeah. And then he's going to have to run for another 10 days after that to see how it responds. That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big blow.
Very big. Sure. But no, big win last night against a team that you and I both respect. We love the Toronto Raptors. Yeah. And everything that they do over there. Shout out Scotty Barnes.
They just have no being a 40 and 32. Zero.
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 It's a team full of a bunch of 2s and 3s.
Yeah, that's it. That's like the to your point blank.
It's Nick Nurse. Yeah. Nurse. Nursed him back to life. Yeah. So I mean, that team obviously plays hard, but yeah, good win. Bulls needed it, like you said last week, man. They're floating towards getting out of these guaranteed playoff spots and into playing, which would be an absolute disaster based on how this team has been.
They come right back tonight. They got Milwaukee.
Yep, and I think the problem that they're having is while some of these other teams at the top are peaking, Miami, Philly, Milwaukee, Boston, Bulls are going the other direction. So we just got to get right back on it, man. Who do we have tonight?
Milwaukee. In Milwaukee.
That's not good.
The rest of the month is a torture chamber, and I think we got Utah, Phoenix, but yeah, man, it's very, very tough. All right, let's any other games you want to touch on before we start? We play a little game. 3 things you love, 1 thing you hate about your favorite NBA players. Any other games you want to go through? You want to touch on the Sixers going out and busting up Miami without Embiid and Harden? I'm going to tell you this, man. It seems like that happens often. Big guy goes out, and then they still win. Or the other, it's kind of – I think the other team just comes in. They're not as serious.
Because Tyrese Maxey got his shots back, too.
And it gets a little – they're like, oh, no Embiid, James.
Well, Harden was getting a lot of heat this weekend from the performance on Sunday night. Was that Sunday that
See, I didn't even catch it. I was in Atlanta. What happened? Wait, what happened?
Heavy ISO ball, James Harden. A lot of folks standing around and watching, kind of like how he would play in Houston, but he's not the same player that he was in Houston. So
that's what Eder was talking about.
Yeah, pounding the rock, not moving the offense the way that he should have been. And Eder was saying, his teammates were looking at him like it was crazy.
What do you guys want from James, though? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I'll say this, man. When we talked about it last week. When he's passing too much, we're like, hey, man, what the fuck going on? Stop kicking it to George Niang and go get a basket. Like, why are we feeding Niang and not going to get a layup? And then when he does do that, it's like an issue. So this is the guy. This is who he is.
Yeah.
Just make sure you get the ball to Embiid. That's all you got.
That's the whole offense. Get the ball to Embiid and let Joel do his thing. No, I mean, I'm still not worried about them come playoff time, but I'm still sticking hard on my on
Philly overall.
No, on fucking Milwaukee. Milwaukee's gonna win the NBA championship. I think I got plus 700 right now. I already have them at plus 800. I might.
You're all Phoenix now.
I have Phoenix too.
So you think it's Phoenix, Milwaukee in the finals?
I think I don't see any scenario in which it's not Phoenix and Milwaukee, and I'm struggling to see scenarios in which Milwaukee doesn't win the title.
Wow,
I gotta do the math, but it's all Phoenix and Milwaukee. I have one on Phoenix.
You got to crush the numbers.
I have one on Phoenix and one on Milwaukee. I need to figure out a way if there's some type of middle or something like that for me. But I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted to just throw 500 on Milwaukee and just call it a day.
And then hedge in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I might not even hedge. I might just fucking ride this bitch out.
No Kyrie is an issue.
No Kyrie. That's the thing. Every team has an issue. Philly still needs to figure it out. No Kyrie. Who knows what's going to happen with the Nets? You're banking on a lot of shit.
You said Milwaukee's just primed to just go again when the playoffs start.
Yeah, for sure. They're ready to go. They're not figuring anything out.
Yeah.
And I think that look, man, Ben Simmons, I don't think he plays this year. And if he does play, how you're gonna take a dude whose mental has been questioned and drop him into playoff basketball
with a fresh off a back injury?
Right, a guy who is supposed to run your offense and play D, and you're gonna throw him into playoff basketball? That's a lot in New York.
It's a different league.
Yeah, I don't see how you bring him back this, and I haven't heard anything about him coming back. I don't know what's going on there. Will this dude ever play basketball again?
Bad back.
Then that makes the Philly look getting off a dude with a bad back is
past the physical though. Yeah, it is a little. It's interesting.
It's been a month and a half since the trade.
Yeah, with no playing time in sight.
Yeah, he's just showing up with weak Louis jerseys and fucking chains and whatnot.
All right, let's get to it. Three things you love, 1 thing you hate. Let's start with Donovan Mitchell. Big Nick the Quick. 3 things you love, 1 thing you hate about Donovan Mitchell. This could be about his game. This could be about Donovan Mitchell hitting you.
T. Mitch.
T. Mitch just hit you. All right. 3 things you love. Donovan Mitchell first. It could be about his game, his persona, his attitude. 3 things you love. 1 thing you hate about Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, Donovan. I think when he gets going, there's very few players who can go in one of these like 50 for 50 type battles, like you saw him do with Jamal Murray.
Sure.
So I love his heart. I love his heart. I love his ability to go out there and get 50. I love the mentality. You know, when he was in the bubble, he was absolutely hooping. So I love that.
So heart mentality.
Yep. I love that when you look at this team, man. I understand that people look at the Utah Jazz as kind of like a machine and everybody kind of gets theirs. But, dude, Donovan Mitchell is their number 1 offensive guy. And there are nights where they absolutely need him to go off to win ball games, right? If the machine is stagnant a little bit or not as oiled as it should be, Donovan Mitchell is your bucket getter. So I love that he's available for that, and I love that he kind of plays that role, and they allow him to play that role along with Jordan Clarkson. Third thing I love about Donovan Mitchell, seems like a pretty humble dude. Doesn't say a lot, but I know that he's unhappy in Utah, right? It gets out kind of beneath the surface.
He got the Russell Wilson shit?
Yeah, but he's not out there, causing problems in the media, talking shit, demanding trades inside the season. I do think he asked for a trade in the summer, but he's not out there making it all about him, even though there are some problems there. It's clear that he does not fuck with Rudy Gobert. Very, 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 very clear.
One thing you don't like about
Donovan Mitchell. I like about Donovan Mitchell? Bit of a chucker. He can get a little shot happy from time to time. But again, I think that's a function of his role, right? So I don't know if there's anything I really don't like about him. He could obviously become a better defender, but yeah, not as efficient. Yeah. That's not as efficient as I would like my guys to be, but he's still young.
Okay.
Interesting. 3
things you love, 1 thing you hate about. Who should I go with here? There's so many guys. 3 things you love, 1 thing you hate, Luka Doncic.
Oh man, Luka. One thing I love about Luka Doncic is I think that since they've brought over Dinwiddie, he has really stepped up his play. I don't think you can understate the friction that existed between him and Porzingis, or just even Porzingis being on the floor and what that kind of took away from Dallas. Now they brought in Dinwiddie, they brought in your boy Bertans with the strap. Brunson still playing well. Luka is really running this thing, and he's taking that leadership role as far as on the court, and it's producing victories.
The first thing you like is just
how he's handled himself since that trade and that team.
Okay.
I feel like he's taking much more of a leadership role, and the team is winning ball games.
Got it.
Second, he's a fucking hooper. That's the second thing I like. He's a fucking bucket. When he gets going, that dude will start cooking. He has the confidence to take all those shots. He loves going head-to-head with big players. If KD is in the building, he's going head-to-head. If James is in the building, he's going head-to-head. He looks forward to those matchups.
He's not scared.
And he's not scared at all.
I'll tell you that. That's one thing I love about him. He's not scared. He doesn't care. He doesn't care who it is, what it is, what time of the game it is. Yeah, I love it.
Third thing I like about him is when you listen to him talk, he's very appreciative of the game. I heard him talking about KD. Respects the game. Heard him talking about KD the other day on JJ Redick's podcast, which is a great podcast. Check out the Old Man and the Three. Talking about KD on Redick's podcast and just being like, man, he makes it look so easy. Like, but you know that's time in the gym. And just kind of talking about the greats and the respect and all that. So I think for a guy not from this country, right, to come to this country and pick up on some of the greats who have played here, to me, lets me know he's a student of the game. He's involved, and he's kind of looking for that type of greatness, right? He's not just going out there doing his thing. The thing I hate is easy. It's easy. Get in shape, man. You know, I get in shape. You shouldn't have what the first half of the season was for you. And I get it. You did the Olympics and all that. But look, man, your job as a professional athlete is to play basketball, but it's also to be ready to play basketball. So you can have an off season in wherever the hell you want to. Turks and Caicos. You want to go back to Slovakia and fucking eat pierogies, do whatever you got to do, bro. But you need to work out. You need to be in shape. It's not that hard, right? And the proof is all there. There's yet to be a guy who changed their body and got worse. Look at Embiid, right? Look at LeBron, who's been a masterclass in how to take care of your body. He's 37. He's dunking over folks last night like he's 25. You know, so that's the benefits of taking care of
look at himself. The first half of the year, he's out of shape. He's not that good. He starts to get in ball shape, and he kills everybody.
Yeah, and then but the thing is, he doesn't maintain it though. Because remember we talked about even the playoffs, he still gets gas. So it's like if he comes into a year, you don't need to come out here looking like fucking I don't know Kawhi, but like come out here with just healthy. He looks so fat to start the year that it's like, yeah, man, that's just discouraging. So hopefully, he figures that part out about it. But it will always hold him back because you can't just punt on the first half of the season because you're getting in shape. Doesn't work that way.
All right. 3 things you love about Jason Tatum. 1 thing you hate about Jason Tatum. The Celtics have been rolling.
Yeah, Jason Tatum is fully coming into himself as far as a scorer. I think we always knew the talent was there. Remember, I was big on Tatum coming out the draft.
Yeah.
I said that dude.
You and my pops. My pops was like, bro, I'm telling you, you're looking at a true ball player.
Yeah. He's 20 point per game scorer, easy. So I love that he has taken his game to the next level this year. You know what I love about it? I love that it seems that they've figured out the friction between him and Jaylen Brown. Right? It was a lot of dueling pianos before, your turn, my turn. We're not really playing together, any of that. It seems like Tatum has kind of ascended to that true number 1, whereas Brown is there to support him, and they've kind of figured that out.
Yeah, it was almost like Tatum would go look at the box, the sheet, the box score, and if Brown had more shots, he would go out and make sure he ended the game with that. Didn't matter. Like
exactly,
bro. Brown's got 18 shots and I have 13. I got to get 8 more shots up, so like I can end the game. Like no matter what it was, you know what I'm saying. So I think that's a good point.
Another thing I love about Tatum is from his pure skill standpoint, the footwork. Right, footwork is crazy elite as far as him moving around the floor, getting where he needs to go, jab steps, things of that nature. And he's able to use that to hit jumpers, to get to the basket. So I love that. I just love his overall game and how developed it is as a scorer because he's not just out there running and shooting. He's trying to beat you with moves and different ball skills that he's developed. Yeah, the footwork is crazy. Third thing I love, the offensive explosions. You know what I mean? When they need it, going for 50, going for 60, having that confidence to do it. He has a good feel for the moment. Like he knows when it's like, yo, this is my time, right? Where I think that's a tough thing for a young player. I think Tatum's only 23, 24 years old, right? It's one of these guys you think has been in the league forever. He's only 23, 24. So just kind of have that feel for the moment as a young guy. I absolutely love it.
One thing I'll add on that is one thing I like about him. He's very calm. His demeanor.
Yeah.
Very calm, in control, confident, no matter what he's got going on. Like last night, he was 11 of 19 from the floor. He had 36. Very calm, and he doesn't waver too much when he's shooting it really well or when he's not. So yeah, I'll put his demeanor in there as well.
Yeah, and the thing that I don't like, and he has improved on it this year, but I think the thing that takes him to the next level, is to get into the line more. So
interesting. That's a good one.
Yeah, this year he's getting the line 6.2 times per game, which is a career high for him. But last year it was 5.5. Year before that it was 4. Year before that it was 3.
So he's but that's a good trajectory though. You know what I mean? He's
getting up, right? Yeah. And I call this the Jimmy Butler. I can't get a bucket, but I can get a bucket mentality. There's times, look, Jimmy. And a lot of Jimmy's like lack of skill. Well, when I say skill, like Jimmy Butler's not as skilled as Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
But there's times where Jimmy just goes to the line.
Just like, lives at the line.
Go live at the line, man. If I drive to the basket, I am most likely going to get fouled, and I'm going to convert my free throws. And Tatum, if you look at him, Tatum is a 86%, 87% free throw shooter. So find more ways to get at the line. That's it. And I think sometimes he falls in love with his jump shot, which is why Tatum can go 1 for 17. It has happened. You can go pull up the stat sheets. He's had 1 for 17s, 2 for 16 type games. So I think he just needs to figure out a way to get to the line more and start drawing that contact and make that a threat on your game. And that's kind of that last level right there. Like if he can get to the line consistently, you take a guy who's averaging 27 points per game, and that's how he becomes a 30 points per game scorer without getting in the way of the offense. You know what I mean? So get to the line. You're already a good enough free throw shooter. I like the trajectory. But a guy like him should be getting the line 7-8 times a game.
Yeah.
You know,
8.5.
seven. Yeah, like if you look at like
he'd be scoring 32 a night.
Yeah, Butler gets to the line 8 times a game.
Yeah,
nine times a game. Like those extra 3 free throws.
Possessions, yeah,
that makes a difference. Not to mention you put the other team in the bonus.
Right. I like it. All right, let's do one more. We'll get up out of here. 3 things you love, 1 thing you hate. Trae Young, Atlanta Hawks.
The mentality, love it. I'd rather have an overly confident guy than a guy who's unsure of himself. And Trae walks into the garden and holds his nuts, talks shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Truly embraces being a villain. Like some people act like they like being a villain, but inside, they go home and they cry about it.
Yeah.
Trae loves that shit. He probably has a Knicks poster on his wall. Like he's just that type of guy. Yeah. So I love it. I love how hard he plays. You don't see Trae out there dogging, right? I know he sucks on D, but he's always in the game. He's always getting hype, man. He's always trying to do something. He's just a fierce competitor. I like that. And from his game, kind of when he wants to, he can run the show and get people involved. I think he still averages 8, 9, 10 assists a game. So he can get you involved. He has the ability to do that. He has the ability to make his teammates better when he's not overly pounding the ball. But it's kind of like Luka in the sense where a lot of these possessions just end with him shooting it. So, I mean, obviously Atlanta has been one of the most up and down teams this year. I think they're 6 of 10 right now in that 10 spot right outside of that play-in. But look, man, they go as far as Trae takes them. And that's just kind of how that team is built. So thing that I don't like is it's hard to ask him to do it because he's so small, but man, do something on defense. Like there's times where it's just like he's not even engaged in D.
Yeah, he's like he might as well be at half court.
Yeah, you might as well be at half court. Like, yo, do something. You could be a little dude. Be pesky. Like keep trying to steal the ball. You know, play the passing lanes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like that. Just become kind of an irritant. You're not going to be able to body anybody, but you can use your athleticism and your speed and your quick hands to kind of, like you said, play the passing lanes, be irritating, do the little, that type stuff. But yeah.
Anybody else you wanna give 3 things you love, 1 thing you hate before we get out of here?
Man,
Giannis,
so
whoever.
Sean's been watching some League Pass. I got something. How about have you watched a good amount of Timberwolves?
I've watched maybe 3 or 4 games all year.
Give me 2 things you love and 1 thing you hate about the Timberwolves.
2 things I love is the free flow. They just go. Whoever got the ball on the spot, they're just trying to put it in the basket. And it looks like they just have fun pushing the rock, and they got the personnel to push the rock. That's what they want to do. And that's always fun to watch. Sometimes when you come across different teams or different, they're like, for example, Dallas is fun to watch because of Luka and the fourth quarter. They play so many close games that are grinded out games, and Luka's going crazy in the fourth. There's stretches in the first 3 quarters where I'm like, man, this is whack ass.
It's tough to watch.
It's so slow.
Luka pounds the ball.
Luka is just pounding the rock, coming down. Jalen Brunson is shooting an elbow jumper with 5 seconds left on the shot clock and 4 possessions in a row.
Yeah.
So okay, but I like how Minnesota gets out and runs with it. I like a lot of their players, man. I like Pat Bev. Say what you want. I think he's fun to watch.
He's been huge for them.
Yeah, he makes things exciting. So I like Pat Bev. Cat's a fun big man to watch. So I like their personnel. Ant-Man is Ant-Man. Super exciting dude. So I like those 2 things about Minnesota. The one thing I don't like about Minnesota is I don't know if they're almost just out there with no direction, it seems.
They're hooping.
Yeah, they're just like, I don't know if they have a real plan on, what's going on and what they want to do.
Outscore the opponent.
Yeah, if it gets to like them in like a playoff series would be really interesting.
Like when shit gets tight and slows down.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the half court, it's like, I don't know, man. So, yeah. So, but yeah, that's the one thing I'll say I don't like. But they're fun to watch. And I'm ready for the playoffs, man. It's gonna be
it's gonna be fucking
this
awesome.
is gonna be epic. The odds are gonna be jumping back and forth every other day. It's gonna be teams go down 2-1. You're gonna be able to get some value on a team that that has a lot of potential to come back and win 4, 3, and 7 or 6, win 4 in a row. So I'm ready for the playoffs to start. I'm excited. Shout out our guy Danny Polska from Poland. What's up, baby? Bear down. Cody P as always. What's good? What are you about to say?
I was gonna say. So do you, with the way the playoffs are shaking out, do you love the play-in? Do you think that this is now working how they intended it to?
100%.
Yeah, right. Like, this is very intriguing.
The play-in is the fucking the Thursday of the tournament.
Yeah. What a great idea. People were trying to hate on it when Silver came out with it. It's like, no, this is a fucking great idea.
Yeah. You don't want to play in the play-in? Get top 6.
Yeah. When LeBron was like, whoever came up with this needs to be fired. It's like, because you're
about to play in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game they produced?
Was that the
Lakers Warriors?
Lakers Warriors. Yeah, it was fucking awesome.
It was awesome.
It's awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
here?
exactly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to and especially because in the East, I think sometimes, like especially in baseball, where you come across this spot where there are teams that have no business having a chance to be in the playoffs. And for a spot like the East and the NBA, a lot of these guys like are legitimate good teams and could make some noise in the playoffs. So
Charlotte,
dude, Denver, like I would love to see those guys have a shot to get in the playoffs.
Minnesota's going to be in the play-in,
exactly. Like even like Brooklyn, might have to deal with it.
Right now, your East playoff is Toronto, Brooklyn, Charlotte, and Atlanta.
Like those are all fun teams, and they're all teams that could like make a little bit of noise in the playoffs.
And in the West, it's Minnesota, Clippers, Lakers, Pels.
Yeah, yes.
By the way, the Pelicans announced that Zion Williams is not returning this year. If in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah. We could talk. I think that's a really interesting situation. I think the Dame Lillard thing is a really interesting situation because Dame
he's healthy.
What's going on?
Yeah, he said his rehab is going great. I'm not coming back.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
That was the headline yesterday. Dame's rehab is progressing great. Blazers star won't return this year.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
I thought he was addicted to the grind. You want to grind out these last 12 games?
Yeah, so that's interesting. Nick is on record saying he wouldn't give Zion a deal.
No.
But when Zion was playing, he was a monster.
But here's the thing, man. Like
so,
this dude.
Do you put a stipulation? Do you put like a weight limit on?
I don't know if we've ever seen anything like this, dude.
Like, do you put a weight like, hey man, I need you at this number by this date, and if not, then
it's one thing to get to play at a place for 4 or 5 years and then decide this ain't for me and try to do everything you can to get out. Buddy was there for like 30 days before he decided that he didn't want to be. I mean, I think he got drafted and decided he didn't want to be there because it wasn't New York.
You remember what I said?
And it's just tanked it the entire time. Like that. And I get it, man. Like usually I'm in support of like trying to get your way out.
He tanked it the entire time though? Or is he just a young kid that ate too much?
400 pounds.
And then broke his foot.
400 pounds.
And doesn't have the discipline to get back in shape to go back and play.
These teams are multi-million-dollar organizations that have everything at your fingertips. If Zion needs someone to come to the house and cook for him, they'll do it. If Zion needs someone to grocery shop for him, they'll do it. If Zion needs a trainer to show up to the house, they'll do it. But you got to ask, or you got to do it. It is hard to get that big. Like we're talking about Luka being out of shape, but not Luka gaining weight. You know what I mean? Just losing definition. Zion keeps gaining weight. How are you doing a sport that actively requires cardio and running around and agility and all that, and you're gaining pounds in the tens?
Are we over?
Like it's hard.
Are we overthinking it? Is it just like he's out of shape, he's eating too much, and it is what it is? Maybe
you could spend the next 30 days not doing shit, and you wouldn't gain fucking 10. It'd be hard for you to gain 10 pounds. You might look like shit, but to pick up 10 pounds. And you're talking about a dude who was like 350 before, and now he's at 400.
Is he 400 pounds? Is that real?
Folks was 400 pounds. You see that? You seen him?
The Mountain Dew joint?
Yeah, and then you saw him when he was at the stadium. He looked terrible. He looked terrible.
He's just gotta and don't get it twisted. I want Buddy to get back right.
Absolutely.
I need him in the league. He's an all-star if he's back right.
But act like a professional.
it's interesting spot, man, where you're so these are the years where you're supposed to be playing 82.
Yeah.
Like, forget about
These-
these are the years you're supposed to be playing 82. Like,
Well, and then the shit came out like, CJ McCollum gets traded to the team and Zion never called him. And like,
yeah, JJ put him on blast on that.
Well, but CJ McCollum is the NBA Players Association president. This isn't like a regular dude coming into your team. Like,
That's irrelevant, though.
It's relevant in the sense
A
that
new guy that's going to start on your team, you should probably holler at.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Forget if he's the
But then you start adding his credentials. That new guy is CJ McCollum, who's been in the league a long time, well-respected guy in the league. And, oh, guess what? He's also the Players Association president, probably someone who you want to have a relationship with. Because maybe this New Orleans shit ends in a grievance one day and you need CJ on your side.
Sure.
Who knows? But I just
Sure.
think the Zion situation is bizarre. And, like, it's another one of those times, man. It's like you think the number one is a surefire, and then that number 2 pick is the one.
The Hall of Famer.
Shout out KD. Shout out KD over Greg Oden.
Shout out John Morant. Yeah,
Shout out John Morant. So, hey, also, Cody, yes, I thought it was just my TV. That college ball is orange as shit.
Yeah, the new
I'm
one.
over here. I'm adjusting my TV like, yo, bro, it looks like a fucking fireball.
It look like, NBA Jam style.
Yeah, you
said
can buy a bucket.
As soon as I saw the play and I was watching Indiana, Wyoming, and I saw the rock, I'm like, this rock looks like look, you know what it looks like? The rubber ball, like you play with at the park.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
The bottom joint being the end.
Yeah.
Remember those joints?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, we'll leave it there. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago, man. Make sure you subscribe. Tell the homies anywhere. You know the deal. YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. We're all over the place. For Big Nick the Quick, I am your host, Sean Little. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. See y'all next week.